Hi, my name's Sarah Smith. I'm Assistant Professor of Photography at PrattMWP and head of our photography area. I'm making this video for you all today as a supplement to our typical accepted students presentation, where you all would come to campus and get to meet me in person and meet students in person. But as you know, due to coronavirus, we're not able to hold events like that. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about our curriculum, about our program, show you images of our facilities and some samples of work that's made by some of our students. And I've also had some of our students make videos talking about their experience being a student here. So hopefully that'll give you a pretty good sense of what our program is like. What I'd really like, to come from this is for you to have a good sense of kind of what our program is like. And please feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you may have. My contact information will be provided to you. But much as I would love to have met with you in person and be able to answer all of your questions in person and take you personally around the facilities, I hope that this is an okay supplement for that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all and working with you in the fall.
The photography area is one of few majors at Pratt where incoming freshmen start taking classes within their major right away. So as an incoming freshman into the photography program, the very first class that you'll take is a black and white photography class. So this is an analog photography class where you'll be shooting with 35 millimeter cameras, processing or learning how to process your own film, and printing in the darkroom. We have two film developing rooms that are for individual student use, although they're large enough that multiple students could be processing their film in there at the same time. All of the chemistry is provided to students in the lab, so you don't provide any of your own chemistry. The things that you do provide are your film and your paper. We also have two very large black and white darkrooms. This is an image of the freshman darkroom. It's deemed the freshman darkroom because it is entirely set up for printing from 35 millimeter film, which is the class that you take as a freshman. The sophomore darkroom is set up for printing both medium format and large format film. As a sophomore, you'll take classes where you will learn how to shoot both medium and large format using those different kinds of equipment. A major component of the photography program is not just learning how to technically be a better photographer and learning the medium, but also kind of pushing yourself conceptually as an artist and finding your own voice within the photography medium. On the left, these are both samples of student work that was made this past year in the black and white class by freshmen. The left image is a piece by freshman Dariana, who, this is just a really wonderful example of very strong composition, the attention to light. On the right is an image from student Caitlin. So this was from a project we were talking about narrative and constructed images, so staging things specifically for the camera. What is really important and why we kind of start with black and white photography and learning how to shoot film first is that it really forces students to slow down and really kind of learn the medium physically, through and through. You know, shooting with film as opposed to shooting with digital, there's not the same kind of workarounds where you can just fix things kind of later and in post-production. Learning how to shoot film really makes you a better photographer. And I've been teaching for quite some time, and that has always been my experience that students who start with film first end up being much, much stronger photographers in the end. This is samples of some more student work. On the left, you see a light table has an 8x10 negative on it. Underneath that is another image from one of our freshmen from this past year, Toki. On the right is a large format image. There's a black and white large format image shot by one of our sophomores. Within the black and white class, we also explore a variety of alternative processes. We started the semester learning how to make cyanotypes. This was a project that's given at the end of the semester where I teach students a kind of variety of alternative processes that still use all of the same chemicals and use our 35 millimeters. So more unusual ways of printing and making images in a traditional darkroom without the need for extensive amounts of more unusual chemistry. When you transfer down to the Brooklyn campus, you have options of taking classes specifically in alternative processes where you will learn lots and lots of sort of antique processes within photography. In the spring of your freshman year, you'll take a digital photography class, and this serves as an introduction to using digital cameras, editing in Photoshop and Camera Raw and Lightroom, and then learning how to print using Epson large format printers. So in this lab, which is part of the photography area, this lab is only for photography students to use, and so you won't be fighting with students in other majors to use this space. This is a space that is specifically set aside for you to use and is managed by the photography area, and we have several work study students who are photo majors that help maintain this area. But in this space, right, we have lots of Mac workstations that are fully equipped with all of the Adobe software that you would need. And then we have multiple large format printers that are different, but two of the printers can print up to 17 inches wide, and we have one printer that will print up to 24 inches wide on roll paper. So you can make some very, very large prints if you so chose using the equipment in our space. We also have film scanners, flatbed scanners for you to use, which we deal with in the black and white class, where we begin to learn how to scan and kind of translate those analog kind of film images into digital images. So here's just some samples of some student work that was made in the digital photography class just this semester. Both of these images are by a student named Henry. On the left was a project that was very much focused on color and sort of exploring color relationships. And the right image is a project that he started working on since we've translated
to online learning. And so this is work that he's just starting but has been working on since he's been home.
Pratt's photo department has been really, really great. We have amazing professors. Sarah and Michael have been so great, and Rita before them, since I've been there these past 2 years, have taught me a lot. And even outside of teaching me what I need to know about photography, they've taught me how to be a better artist. I think that a lot of this program is self-driven, and you will find yourself contemplating who you are as a person at times. And I think that that's really important because you, as an artist, want people to see your point of view and you want them to see your perspective. And the work that you're making is obviously going to be important to you. So you have to find ways to show people why it's important. And I think that everyone's voice matters. And as long as you are willing and open-minded and focused, you're going to be great. Like, there's absolutely nothing that can stop you from being the best student that you can be and the best artist that you can be, because at the end of the day, you're doing all of this for yourself. Like, you want to be a photographer in life, it's not an easy profession. It's something that you have to give your all to, and it's something that you have to love. And I think that with my peers, I've found that I don't only love photography because I get to work and make work that I think is important. I love it because of the people that I get to meet and the other photographers that I get to talk to, and sharing this passion with a group of people who will, hopefully someday become your community, your group. That it's really important to just try to be the best version of yourself that you can be, so that in critique you're giving good advice, or you're taking good advice, or you're not feeling like you're being attacked, because no one is here to no one is here to attack you. All the work that you make is important. You just have to find a way to express that. And if you can't find it in the image, add some text, I don't know, something. I think it's all about being creative and just enjoying the experience. And you'll have 2 more years after MWP where you get to show another group of people, another community, how hardworking you are and how passionate you are about the craft. But the department has just been great, and I really, really am glad that I decided to come here, because if I didn't, I don't know where I would be. So, yeah.
During the freshman year, each semester you only take 1 photo class, but once you move into your sophomore year, you end up taking several photo classes each semester. In the fall of your sophomore year, you'll take large format photography and intermediate digital photography and a survey of photo history. So an art history class that is specifically geared towards talking about the history of photography in art. So these are images from very early in the fall semester of some of our sophomore students with our large format cameras. This was on the first day that we took the cameras out, so students were just beginning to kind of learn how to use these cameras. We also have an 8x10 large format camera. So this is a camera that shoots an 8x10 inch negative. So it's a very, very large camera. You can see it's sort of a student next to it. It's on a very, very heavy tripod. This is in our lighting studio. So we pulled this out and all of the students got to use this camera. The film was provided by the department because this is an in-class kind of learning experience for everyone. So this is student work from the large format class. On the left is a piece by student Arlette, you'll hear her talking about her experience as a photo student later in this video. On the right is a color image. So this was shot on color negative film with a large format camera, a 4x5 camera in our studio. And this is by a student named Emily. So our campus is located in Utica, New York, which you already knew. But we have a very strong relationship with our main campus in Brooklyn, and our students have relationships with other students there and faculty there, and we make a point to kind of encourage those relationships. In the fall, all of the sophomores were brought on a trip down to the Brooklyn campus, so they were able to be introduced to the facilities and some of the faculty and other students there during this trip. This is a group of kind of mix of students from Brooklyn and students from Utica, where we were down there visiting, and students from Utica were able to participate in a critique of photo students in the Brooklyn campus. As a photo major, there are a variety of different research and travel and field trip opportunities for students. This is a student, Sydney Allison, is a sophomore who went to the Society for Photographic Education's national conference that happened in Houston, Texas this year. We're also about 45 minutes from Syracuse, which is where Lightwork is located, which Lightwork is a nonprofit lab space that hosts artists in residence throughout the year, and also has a lab space that's available for the public to use as long as you have been trained on their equipment. As a photo student, you also have access to our lighting studio that is also for photo students specifically to use. The equipment in here is managed by the photography area. We have several different backdrops, both sort of white, gray, black, along with multiple colored backdrops for students to use, and a variety of different kinds of lighting equipment that you will be trained on how to use, kind of spread throughout both your freshman and sophomore year. So we have strobe lights, so flashes, right, where that connect to your camera and go off when you press the shutter button, and we have LED continuous lights. And a variety of other kind of tethering equipment and shooting stands and tripods and lights and all kinds of equipment. And you will know by the time your 2 years are up at the MWP campus, you will know how to use all of the equipment that's in this room. So the intermediate digital class that you take in the fall of your sophomore year is a class that's really built on kind of expanding on what you've learned in your freshman year as far as shooting and editing, but also beginning to learn how to translate the photographic medium to something beyond just the regular kind of printed image. So something that we explore are books and kind of sculptural forms in this class. The photography has a very long relationship with artist books and just books in general. And so part of this class is about learning about that relationship and learning how to create and structure a book. So by the end of the semester, students have self-published a book that includes work that they've been making throughout that semester. So this is just another example, one of those books. This was a book by a student named Emily who was creating portraits and then doing interviews with Latinx students on campus. So this is an image that was made in our lighting studio by sophomore Jade, who you heard speak earlier in the video. So in the spring semester of your sophomore year, you take two different classes. One is called Sophomore Critique, which is a class that is very much geared towards learning how to sustain projects over long periods of time. So that class, you are focused in on developing a project, and then we have several critiques throughout the semester where you're presenting kind of the growth and the different iterations of that project. And at the end of the semester, you participate in something called Sophomore Survey, where you present your kind of research and work to a panel of faculty at the end of the semester. This is part of a project that Jade was working on based kind of in Afrofuturist research. The other class that you take as a sophomore in your spring semester is a class called Between Image and Word, which is a kind of reading, writing, discussion-based class that is focused on reading about photography and also learning how to write about photography as well. So all of the text that we read are both contemporary and historical, that are based in sort of research of photography and conversations about photography. And then alongside that, you are beginning to develop a kind of writing practice about photography as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Arlette and I'm a sophomore at PrattMWP. I am a photo major and today I'm going to be sharing my experience at PrattMWP's photo department. One of the reasons why I wanted to go to PrattMWP was because it was a small school, which means there's only a certain amount of students majoring in photography. This allowed me to create friendships with all of the photo majors and my teachers. They always give helpful feedback during critique or outside of the classroom so I can better my work. I enjoyed how the photo students were able to have access to the photo lab or studios and have a selection of different types of cameras and lighting kits so we can try and experiment in our projects. There are a lot of resources at the photo department, like having the load-in room and dark room to process film, having access to the studio so we can conduct our photo shoots there, and have a lot of Mac computers with Adobe programs so I can edit my images and print them out right at the photo lab. Thank you for hearing my experience about the photo department, and welcome to PrattMWP.
So one of the other initiatives that is unique to the photo program at PrattMWP is our in-house gallery called Study Hall. Study Hall is a gallery space that I started where we feature contemporary photographic artists on the walls in our studio space for semester-long exhibitions. And during this semester, we spend a lot of time learning about those individual artists that are in the exhibition, but also spending time uh, doing Skype interviews with some of those artists, and just sort of like talking about what it means to be a contemporary artist, contemporary photographic artist in the world today. Study Hall is something that is truly unique about our program, and we have some very, very well-known and respected artists that have been featured in our exhibition. We have a website, www.studyhallgallery.com, and we also have an Instagram, and if you go to either of those, you'll be able to find information about the current exhibition that's up, the artists that are featured in there. And then also, since we've been working from home so much recently, the Study Hall Gallery Instagram has also begun featuring some of our student work. So please go ahead and check that out. That's a great way to kind of see what we've been up to this semester and this year at the PrattMWP photo program. I'm really thrilled that you've been accepted into the program and truly wish that we could be meeting in person. But like I said at the beginning of this video, just reach out to me with any questions that you may have. I'm happy to answer them, and people in admissions will be putting you in touch and giving you my contact information. I hope to see you in the fall. It'll be awesome to work with you, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.